just think of all the things I found out about you, bro. Here I think you like my main wing man, and I'm finding out about flaps and all sorts of other
Winnebagos
stuff and
yeah,
all sorts of equipments and circumstances and things and it'll
Bina. There's a street in
Ida Bina.
There's a street named after my grandfather, whose name is Al Thomas. There's a street named after him, where the Piggly Wiggly is.
Very good. Thanks for joining the 811 crew. We're excited to be back in the building. JET and my man
Slugger Glenn.
Sluggerific from Cuyahoga County. Actually, it's not Cuyahoga.
I'm Summit, but I partied
Summit County. That's right. I've never seen that on a license plate, but that's just because I've never been to Twinsburg. But anyway, we digress.
Right, because you've never been to Twinsburg.
That's right. And why haven't I been to Twinsburg, Ulysses?
You know what?
You know what? It's because you never invited me to Twinsburg. Yes, I find out on Instagram that you're in Cleveland. I'm like,
because usually I'm with just my family, and
I understand. And it's not like most people are not really like dying to go to Cleveland.
I knew you were in Cleveland.
Right, I'll say I'm getting Cleveland.
He was in Cleveland for Mother's Day.
For Mother's Day.
Oh yeah, right.
I go see my mom. I go see my mom.
Mother's Day, Thanksgiving. You're always going to be in Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
in the area.
No, I have to see my mom, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, my cousin, my brother.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of extended family that's in Cleveland? Like, I know about your mom, dad. You grew up there, but like, where's your dad's family? Your mom's family. Where do you go back to?
So my dad's originally from Ida Bina, Mississippi.
Say that again.
Ida Bina.
Ida Bina.
Like where Marion Barry and B.B. King are from.
Okay.
So he's from Ida Bina, moved when he was 2 to Cleveland. Everyone lives in his family, mostly on his mom's side, in Cleveland or Indianapolis. My mom's originally from Baltimore, and her mother and father and grandmother on my grandmother's side moved to Cleveland.
So you are what happens when Mississippi and Baltimore get together.
Exactly.
This is what happens. Yes. Lord have mercy.
And they move out to the suburbs.
This was a curious experiment.
No. You should have been the first time we went to Ida Bina. So
first of all, just for the people who aren't here, I want to know how you spell. How do you spell Ida Bina? How do you spell Ida Bina?
Well,
could you spell that, please?
Capital ITTA. Space. Bina, Bena.
There's not a space though.
No, Ida Bina. Yeah, that's it. Ida Bina, ITTA.
That's really like there's a post office that has that on.
Oh yeah, Ida Bina. My brother. This is when my parents knew my brother had lost it. So we're riding through, and my brother starts seeing houses, and he's like, we had just seen the movie Sounder because my parents made us watch every.
I was in South Africa. Wasn't that from South Africa?
No, Sounder.
What was Sounder?
Oh my God, where'd you go?
Here we go again.
Oh, here we go. Sounder is about the South. It's about the dog. He lives in the South. You didn't see that movie? You're not really.
Another one I got to look at.
You're not really black. So anyway, it takes place in Mississippi.
Okay.
So my brother's in the car. We're with other people from the place. My grandfather came from Cash. So his house looked nice, nice big house, street named after him, everything. So my brother's riding, and he's like, "Oh my God, look! These houses look like that movie Sounder." And so no one is saying anything in the car. My brother keeps saying it. Finally, my father just pops him. Like, stop! Like, shut up! Like, because these people live here.
Oh,
this is my brother.
But it was a compliment, though. I mean, I haven't seen Sounder to know what the houses look like, et cetera. And I'm sure I'm the only person who hasn't seen Sounder. So maybe you. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows what you're talking about.
What y'all do for Black History Month?
I mean, we didn't have it.
Seriously?
I mean, it's this CT, critical to CRT.
So y'all didn't like in Ohio.
So you're
Black
down
History?
with CRT. I mean, that's what you're talking about now.
That's
totally
different.
About black movies.
No.
I don't want to talk about
critical race theory is something that you teach in college, it's not a high school, or that's not in that curriculum.
Well, let's just stop here because I don't want this to get racial. Okay. All right. But anyway, yeah. And being, I feel like that's also a social media question too. I mean, I'm really curious as to, like, I almost want to ask Carmen, like, who has seen Sounder? I mean, we got Netflix now. I mean, I'm just wondering.
Sounder.
I've seen it.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Well,
like how have you not seen Sounder?
I'm gonna get a. You know what? I need. You know
I
what?
think you know what.
You know what, Sydney? I need a whiteboard behind me. I'm gonna get a whiteboard, and I'm gonna write on it all the that I don't know about. I'm gonna be
Have you
like
seen
Ulysses says. Go,
Have you seen
We're
Porky's?
gonna write stuff on the board,
Have you seen
and I'm
Porky's?
gonna check it off as I see it.
Have you seen
Did
Porky?
you see Lady Sings the Blues?
Absolutely not.
You did.
Oh my
I gotta see that.
Your card is
gone.
Your
See,
card
that,
is
I
gone.
mean,
revoked.
look, I'm
Completely
just
gone.
being honest out here. Okay,
Completely
can I
gone.
just be honest? Can I just be honest?
Billy D, Dino.
I
really?
mean, I've seen
Strange
Fruit.
Fruit.
I remember that. Oh, I definitely remember from the tree. I get it. Bear,
But so
Strange
from the
Fruit,
but
I
when
get
you
it.
see the movie, she's
Yeah, I've seen the movie, but like a lot of times when you like I may have seen Sounder, but you know, like I know the movie, but I might have forgotten the name. You know, like you know a song, but you don't know the name of the song. But if it plays, you know it.
No, these are like Gone with the Wind. Like you know, if you saw this,
Well, I'm sure you saw Gone with the Wind.
I actually have not seen.
You haven't seen Gone with the Wind?
I've seen parts of it. I have. I've seen Gone with the Wind.
I mean, Roots.
I've seen Roots. I've seen Roots.
You've seen Roots.
I've seen Roots. I've seen Roots. I've
Do you remember seeing Roots?
Yes. Oh, my
That
parents.
was crazy back in the day. When
First of
Roots
all,
came out.
my parents we had to see everything that was like positively black.
So they said no, you can't see Good Times.
Correct.
But Kunta Kinte, yes.
Yes, I clearly. So everything. Like when we would go on vacations, we went to everything black.
Right.
Like when we would come to D.C., we would go to Frederick Douglass' house. We didn't go on normal vacations where you go to the beach.
I mean, back in the day, we were growing up. Just coming into D.C. you were in the black. That
No,
was
but
the
we
black
would-
experience
but
when
no,
you
we
crossed
would-
the line.
We would drive. We had a Winnebago, so we would drive our Winnebago from Cleveland to. We would visit our family in Baltimore. Then we would come to D.C. or do something in Baltimore, like like a Black History thing. Oh,
You know
that's
this, and I got to just say real quick. I mean, you know, you mentioned something there. You said Winnebago. Now, you know that I got to believe that Winnebago, The Office, Seinfeld, and Friends all go together. I don't know why I think that. I don't know many black people that had a Winnebago. Maybe.
Oh, we had a nice Winnebago.
Oh, really?
It was a big W on the side.
Oh, yeah.
And we used to go
It's like the Partridge Family or something. I think.
No,
No, the
just-
Partridge Family had a bus. You all had a
but we had
Winnebago.
Yeah, we could. So we would go.
It had a
camp-
kitchen, that joint,
Yeah.
bathroom, and all that.
Yeah, so we would go camping. So we would go camping with our Winnebago.
It had a TV in it.
It had electricity, so you could put a TV. So back then you could get TV.
Are you about
regularly.
to say you could play your Atari game system in the Winnebago
Oh yeah. If we brought our Atari with
in
us.
1982? That's
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
that's some serious. You was out there, man.
Yeah, we had a Winnebago.
That's special.
Yeah. It was like, oh, we would go. So,
Well, that is a wonderful experience.
Really?
I can tell you that while I was not traveling in a Winnebago, what reminds me of Roots was so amazing to me because after Roots and after seeing Roots, my mom was like after that, and it was just her and me.
okay.
So after Roots, I remember that next week she came home and she was like, "Honey, we're going to Africa." I was like, seriously? Like that next week after seeing Roots, she saw some sort of like tour like in the newspaper where you could go to Dakar and Senegal and the Gambia for like 8 days, and you know, and we went to just her and me. We went to Senegal and Gambia. I was 11 years old.
Wow, no.
And it was amazing.
Only thing we drove cross country in our Winnebago from Ohio to California.
Well, see, this tells us all about now, this is a lot of reason why, you know, you listen to the A11 crew, because we have these types of experiences. You have brothers that have grown up having a Winnebago in their yard, and you got a brother here whose mom in 11 was like, we gonna go to Senegal and the Gambia. I mean, that's so different experiences, but really cool.
I remember flying when people used to get smoke on the plane.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Right. That there was a non-smoking section of the plane, which was even crazy, right? So that's only stuff that you can remember if you're in your 50s.
Right.
But you know what? I want to also get back to the topic because we've been having such a great conversation that one of the things that we want to talk about is how you rebuild a social network and a community, right? Like, for instance, we talked about divorce yesterday, kind of getting, you know, you're divorced, you're trying to start over new, and you got to think, right? Like, when we first got divorced, you're thinking your whole social network is dead, okay? Like, all the stuff that you built with you and your partner, that is gone. You got to reinvent, get your groove back, etc. Figure out a way.
Your married friends can't really hang out with you,
right?
Like
so,
that, like
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that today. We're going to get into rebuilding our social network. Like, how did we get ourselves back in the groove? What do we need to do to really reestablish yourself as an individual? We're going to talk about that today on this episode.
Well, I can tell you what I did. It was actually, mine was interesting. So my divorce was in June. Birthdays in August. Had a birthday party reception. You came. And I remember people didn't know I was divorced, so that kind of let people know he's divorced. Oh, he's having a party, and it was only me on the invitation.
Right.
So that was my way.
And I don't think we had any food there either.
No, there was food.
But see, these are all things you got to do. And I want to when we come back. Now, wait a minute, hold that thought, because when we come back to this, I really want to get you to tell some stories. I want to share some of our stories about how people changed, how people forgot about it, came back in. We're going to get into some really good stuff on this thing coming up.
All right, definitely.
We are back with the 811 crew. We are back, and that was a great discussion. I mean, these podcast things are good, Slugger. I mean, like, I just think of all the things I found out about you, bro. Here, I think you like my main wingman, and I'm finding out about flaps and all sorts of other
Winnebagos
stuff and all sorts of equipment and circumstances and things and it'll
be them. There's a street in
Itta Bena.
There's a street named after my grandfather, whose name is Al Thomas. There's a street named after him, where the Piggly Wiggly is.
Very good. Well, Piggly Wiggly, and probably there's a Dollar General store and everything right there, and a Waffle House and all that, and a Walmart somewhere nearby.
And I've actually connected with a lot of family members via social media, Ancestry.com.
That's interesting. And you know what? In social media, that's something we really want to talk about as well, right? Because we're talking about the whole episode here is about rebuilding your social network, getting yourself back going after your whole social network, your whole identity has been blown up from divorce. How do you start over? What role did you use social media for? Did social media play any role in it? Did you use the Facebook? As my mother says, the Facebook.
Mine, no, it really.
Because you are Facebook user. I don't think you moved on and besides Facebook.
No. I have Facebook, Instagram. I put certain things on certain. So I have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tweet.
So how did you use it though to get? But I feel like how I use social media. How did you use social media? Did you use it deliberately or with intention to get back? Or?
No, I never was a person who put like thirst trap pictures.
Thirst trap pictures.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can definitely tell. Like when people get divorced, they definitely put like thirst trap pictures of themselves.
What is a thirst? Would you explain though to thirst trap picture? What is that?
Usually a dude, he worked out, he had his shirt off. You're like, what is this dude?
People do that. Like I don't think that comes in. That does not come in my feed, yo. That never hits my feed.
Oh, friends, you're like, what? Like, what is this dude?
I mean, yeah.
Chicks do it. You'll see chicks, they'll post themselves. You're like, in a bikini, like, look, I'm the new me. You're like, no, you're not.
Yeah, well, that's messed up, man. Like, what?
Dude, I'm like,
why?
It's hilarious.
Oh, you can't be a fan. I mean, be folks trying to be.
I think people should take care of themselves. I'm always laughing at it.
So even if a mug just gets himself in shape, loses 30 pounds, you still see them the way they were.
No. I'm talking about, that's different. Thirst trap is when you've gotten divorced and you are now. It's like you're announcing to the world, like, look at me.
Right.
I'm single now. Yeah.
This is version 2.0 debut.
Like they make a big thing about them changing their thing on Facebook.
Right.
I'm single. I'm the new me.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I didn't do any of that. I just kept going with, I did start going out.
Okay.
So you do have to start doing different things.
They're doing different things.
Totally,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Totally different things.
Now with social media, I'm kind of like you. I only use social media to post things that are important to me. Like, right. So that's kind of the barrier, the thing that I use. And of course, being in my 50s, I am deathly like anything that I put up, I know it's going to be there forever. So in general, I will never put, and I try to say this to my kids too, you do not put anything up on social media that I'm not going to stand up and be like, yep, I said that. That was me. I was there. And
everything doesn't need to be photographed.
Right.
I went with my nephew on spring break. And I'm like, you videotape everything. Mm-hmm. Like, for what? I'm like, they weren't here. Like, when are you gonna show it again?
Right.
And I'm like, stop videotaping everything.
Now you know what? But that also reminds me of social media real quick, and we might have to have a whole nother show about this. This is like online dating. You know what I mean? Like, and do people consider, is that considered social media in your mind? Like, when you go on like whatever, the Bumble or Plenty of Fish or whatever, is that? Online dating, is that considered social media?
So it's interesting. I have a good friend who is on he's on dating apps, but he is not on social media. And he is not doing that well on the dating app.
What do you
and I said to him,
I just want to add, we got to get back to what is not doing well.
Well, I said to him, that's because women want to look and be able to find you. I said, there's nothing else about you. They know your LinkedIn profile is just work. They want to see something else. And he doesn't get it. I'm like, dude, you need to have a social media.
So you would say that? So that sounds like you've been very successful with this. I mean, since you're describing, you're giving this mother advice.
But I think I would be a good person. I think I'm a good advice person for dating.
Okay, very good. Well, you know what? I think you're a good advice person.
I don't follow my own. I don't follow my advice. But
I follow your advice. You got a lot of good stuff to say. I mean, you know what? That's why. That's why when I was thinking of this podcast, I was like, it's got to be me and Ulysses, because you're gonna find. I mean, the brother generally knows about a lot of stuff. I mean, we
certain things like
that's interesting perspective. Ohioan, perspective. Winnebago formed and honed.
So everyone, it's like, so you didn't have a Winnebago. Okay, I realize that. And it's funny. I think about, as a kid, we would go camping, and it's like, so when the first time I actually went camping, I was like in 6th grade. I'm like, oh wow, this is real camping. Cause we used to do the 6th grade camp thing at school.
Okay.
And you had to do like 6th grade. It was like real camping, and so I was like, wow, okay. So then I got used to camping, but we always did Winnebago camping where you were plugged in, all that. So yeah, ever since my parents got it, I was like 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? And that was a good experience. Is my dad, and this is really for me. I'm really into auto racing, Formula One.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton.
That's we were supposed to go to Vietnam.
We were going to go to Vietnam.
But COVID came.
Yeah, but auto racing is my thing. And my dad was really into that. We're still into it now, but my dad was actually on the pit crew for some things. So when I was younger, growing up, he had a TR6 convertible that had Triumph.
Really?
So I don't know that many brothers that had English sports cars. That wasn't a Winnebago, but it definitely.
My father had a Gremlin. He's not a car person.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. No. My dad had the TR6. It was like lime green, and he used to call his car the Green Flash.
The coolest car my dad's ever had is a Taurus. He has it now.
Yeah.
He's not a car person. But we had other things, like we had a Winnebago. Like, okay.
But going around, we used to go to talking about new experiences. We used to go to the racetracks. We would go to Summit Point in West Virginia,
really?
Watkins Glen,
really?
in upstate New York, in the Finger Lakes region.
That's cool.
Yeah. So those were.
Yeah, when you remember
Lime Rock, Lime Rock racetrack in Connecticut. You may have heard of these racetracks, or
one in Connecticut. I have because I live in Connecticut, but it's growing up. Yeah.
Now this ain't NASCAR we talking about. We're not talking about Billy Bobby and Buddy Ray and Bobby Joe and them. We talking about like Ferrari, Mercedes.
So getting back to social media, do you know anyone who's been married from social media? I mean, who's gotten married off of a dating app or social media?
That is a great question. I do know someone, and this is crazy. My dad.
Really?
Yes. My dad, here I am, because I don't use online. I've never used online dating. I had a Tinder account years ago, one time that was set up for me. I was like, She was like, "Oh, you should have a Tinder account." I was like, "What is Tinder?" She was like, "Oh, I'll show you." And all of a sudden, I had an account. I was like, "What's going on?"
Right.
So, and I couldn't do that anymore because I was worried that I could see other people I knew on Tinder. I was like, that means they're seeing me. I'm not down with that at all, right?
That was the thing. I had one, never went on a date with anyone with it. Started dating this girl, and she was like, "Oh, my friends saw you on."
I see. That's what.
I was like, "Oh,
that's
I
the-
yeah." I
that's
was
the
like,
I
"Okay."
don't like.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Yeah, I never went out."
So then, meanwhile, my dad, he is his wife, who is now deceased. But they met on Match.com. I remember when he told me that he met this woman on Match.com. I was like, "What?" Match.com, Dad. Okay, so and my dad, today is my dad's birthday. As a matter of fact, he's 78.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, so he clearly does online dating.
Yeah,
but I gotta wonder. I wonder if my dad's the only one. That'd be a really good question today, right? I'm talking about serious relationships that came from online dating.
I know a couple of people who got married from online dating.
Clearly, straight up, that's how they met.
Like, I worked with them. Yeah, people I worked with. I think if you're not a social person if you're not in a sorority, if you're not sorority, fraternity, some type of, link, some group, excuse me, where you're going to be out, it's hard to meet people. So
yeah, it seems like you would definitely use online something to rebuild your social network. I mean, I would use the internet to find French fries near me. So I mean, you would definitely want to think of dating or something that serious. You would kind of widen your net, or else you'll only meet the same people you see. And I think you said it earlier, changing your whole people and meet network. I would think online dating would be a big thing to kind of jumpstart that.
I didn't have that problem because I had from being in a fraternity, I had that group of friends. What did happen is I began to associate more with my single friends because that free time, I was doing different things. So, and it's not like you're single. So, and like I said before, I kept the friends. Like, my ex-wife excommunicated with everyone off Facebook. So I was like, okay, I think I lost, I think one of her friends who I didn't care anyway. I mean, literally.
You ain't lose. You kept the friends, and the ones you lost, you ain't care. They were whack anyway.
Right, I was like, okay. I was like, okay, you needed me. I introduced you to the friends you had.
Yeah. I feel like with my former wife, we're still cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool with her friends because she was a Delta from Howard, so all of Kappa, so it was a lot of fraternity, sorority.
I'm still cool. I'm still cool with her wife.
And she went to Howard, so we're a lot of DC stuff and everything is all right in there. But I really want to. Wait a minute, Carmen. Oh, is Carmen here?
No, Carmen's out. She's out.
Is she on?
Where is she?
She on the big boat?
She's on the high seas. She's on the high seas.
Yeah, she's on the Lido deck.
She's on the high seas.
On the love boat.
The love boat.
Okay. Well, wait a minute now, but because I want to know who. Wait a minute now. So if Carmen's like, do we have who? Wait, Mo.
We have Mo.
Mo. We need you.
Mo,
we need your help. We need you to come off the bench here on the poll question of the day. And I think the poll question of the day should be: who has had success from online dating? If we want to hear from you,
we want to hear from you.
Had a serious relationship, marriage, like something real, love, not for 30 days it was hot and not like something sustainable.
We mean 6
something
months.
Real.
6 months to at least 6 months.
Yeah, like if you've done that, if you've used online dating and you found your boo, like your for real boo, hit us up. Hit up Mo. Let us know. I want to know who that is, who they are. I want to see who's done that and who's been successful. Maybe we could, and somebody, I would love to hear some stories. Have some folks call in and tell us about that. Maybe I'll call my dad up and be like, Dad, tell us your online dating story. Man, we need to give you a
I can tell
second.
you my online dating story.
Uh-oh.
So with women.
Oh, wow.
So with
good.
women, Bumble.
Does it have a happy ending?
Uh,
Never mind. Don't answer that. Don't
what
answer
kind? Anyway, I'm gonna skip the answer to that question. Anyway, so with women, there aren't that many guys in DC, right?
Okay.
So we all have to our friends, if our all
Is
our
that a fact? I mean, what?
oh my god.
Oh my.
Anyway, so we
Wow.
have to ping each other like here's the picture, this is who I'm going out with. Otherwise, we would cross over all the time. So the one and only online date I went out with. We talk for a couple days, we meet. You know, he's nice, but he excuses himself to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay. I'm texting. And then I thought, it's taking him a while to come back.
Maybe he's doing number 2.
Oh wow. Okie dokie.
And then
Comes back
he
hands
comes
dry.
back.
Hands were damp.
We
His
say
hands were damp, right?
goodbye. We say goodbye. I go home. I text my 2 girlfriends. I'm like, nope. And they were like, what was his name again? And I sent them the picture again. And Vivian's like, and when did you go out with him?
Oh.
And then I
Dink,
said,
dink, dink.
when I was in the bar, he was in the bathroom stall texting her, asking her out a date. But it was a good thing that we check in with each other. And you know, but that I was texting too when he went
You
to
know
the
what?
bathroom.
That
So
well,
hey,
that guy.
So
was
did you ever say
dastardly.
anything to him?
haven't talked to him
No.
since. No,
Wow.
not
she-
because of that.
Did
just
she
because
say? Did she say anything to him?
Never talked to him. She unbumbled
Really?
him. Unbumbled him.
Debumbled.
Really?
She was
stung him.
debumbled. Anyway,
Wow.
I have a lot of friends who really have done online dating. I mean, I have
I
heard,
want to do it. Like I want to
I've
do
heard-
it, but I just am scared. I don't
I've
know, man.
heard stories that are hilarious.
But
I mean,
but you know what? Instead, though, I have not online dating, but I feel like I've joined new organizations that have, to your point, and expanded things I've done. So while
Yeah.
I'm not online dating, I did join a bike crew. That
Yeah,
is
we
one
joined-
thing
yeah.
that really
Yeah.
changed my life is when I got into
A bike
cycling
crew.
and bike
Right.
crew. You know, a new community.
That was a new
Because
group.
you lose a community, and so then gaining a community was really critical.
It
for
was
me.
the bike crew. I got the first year I was divorced. I joined the local chapter here, and that was cool. And then after that, I joined the bike crew. What did I do?
And in the century, I mean,
I
in
joined
our
the
club, you joined the club,
I joined the club. That's what I did. I joined the club. After I was in the local chapter here, I joined the club.
Mhm.
So once I was in the club, that's where I put my focus at. Then
Now,
I became-
real quick, and we'll have to come back and say, because a lot of times we're talking about things between
Right.
us, the brothers, you know,
Right,
set up.
right.
When we mention our fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi,
Psi.
when we mention the men's club we belong to, which is one of the oldest, you know, black male clubs, you know, it's been
In
around
DC.
since the 60s. Yeah, it really is one of the last bastions of the chocolate city here in DC.
Yeah, it literally
it's
is.
not
Yeah.
it's not a club like the bar. It's not a fraternity. It's not anything,
Right,
but it
right.
is a gathering of honorable men.
Right.
It's
So-
really been critical.
So that definitely they definitely joined that after I got divorced. Then you just you have more of a single crew. You're doing more single things. I was hanging out on the weekends.
But
things
like you
that.
said, it's critical to
Yeah.
expand, to rebuild
You
your
had to-
personal network.
yeah.
You got to step
You
out
can't
and do
just-
things you've never done before, right?
And you just yeah. You
And
just,
it's hard. It's
I
hard to do
remember
different things.
different bars I was starting to go to because I was older, so I wasn't going to clubs. So that was one of the other
Yeah,
things.
I never
Yeah,
went to. I never was really on the bar scene. I always, did it. But there's definitely some other ways that we'll have to do that. And I want to some other shows. I really would like to come back and hear like yoga. There's probably a lot of
Oh,
things
yeah,
that
I
people are
started
doing
doing,
to do
yeah.
that as well. So, but I think what is most important though, y'all, and you got to realize this, and Slug and I
Right.
talk about this all the time, is to rebuild your social network. You have to start with new bricks. You have
Yeah,
to
you have to.
lay a whole new foundation. And that can be really scary as I don't know what to
Yeah.
do, but it is absolutely critical. It's hard, but you have to start.
I remember waking up like that first Saturday, like, I'm single. I can do anything. This is not my weekend with my son.
Right.
Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? It wasn't my normal routine. I didn't have my routine. So you have to build a new routine.
And you know what? And even though your new routine, I feel like that let's be real. You know, a lot of the pain and things that, you know, divorce is a failure. And for me, divorce was a failure for me. I don't want to speak for you. It was a failure for me because I really thought it was going to go all the way. But I do feel like getting started anew was critical. I'm glad I did. And there's a lot more growth that I feel like I need to accomplish. And especially I'm feeling it's coming up on, you know, this whole notion of rebuilding your social network was critical to me more. I think also because this September would have been my 25th anniversary. Like that's it's a lot of years in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at how did that go? I'm looking at that thing and also looking at what's the next level for me. You know, with myself, with building myself. So
yeah, it makes you build yourself. Being divorced. Especially when you're divorced at a later age and you've been married for a longer time, you're rebuilding yourself, you're rebuilding your network, and you have to focus on yourself you have to focus on yourself.
Well, you know what? One of the things that I think this is going to bring us to in another episode, and I think we're going to have to talk about this in our next episode, right, is what are the new rules of dating? We talked about online dating. I mean, that's how you kind of kick it off, right? Get yourself off the couch, meet some new people.
Right.
But, you know, we got to talk about that. Like, once you get the date and once you're sitting there, what are the rules? What are the definitions? How does the thing go?
Right. Who can you date? Can you date a friend? Can you date a friend?
Right.
Can you date her? You know, her line sister.
Now wait a minute, stop right there. Now I can't wait to hear what you say about all this. But you guys have got to come back to join the 811 crew,
right? To
hear when Ulysses and I talk about can you date your girl's girl?
Right.
Can your girl date your boy? Are there
rules?
Are there rules? Can you boost switch? I mean, I don't know. We're going to have to talk about some of these things. I might say you're either married or you're not. I don't know.
I have an interesting take, but yeah.
We'll get back to it, though. 811 crew. This is fun. Let's do it. We're out.
Let's go. Pick your feet up, though.